welcome back to Your Southern Lesbian. I am Ashley Hydrick. Apparently, I'm your Southern Lesbian. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, it's nice to see y'all. How is your January progressing? Last week, we talked about releasing old fears and the golden handcuffs and things that kind of keep you stuck. Well, that was sort of specifically related to jobs. I mean, it could be relationships too, but I'm really going to hit y'all hard today with relationships and what keeps you stuck from dating. Today's topic is, why aren't you dating? Why don't you date? So some of y'all are, fine. That's great. But I know a lot of y'all come here because you're not. I've read a lot of the comments, gotten a lot of your feedback. I see the things happening on TikTok. A lot of y'all are here because you don't date. And I think a lot of y'all are here specifically because there's old fears around dating, right? And don't we all have those? So I am certainly no exception. So when y'all see me out there, or you saw me in the past going to the meetups and going to places to meet people, I mean, I didn't do that out of no fear. There's a little bit of feel the fear and do it anyway, like we talk about, right? What does keep you stuck? I want to talk about these old stories that we carry with ourselves. You know, these past breakups. Excuse the heater, y'all, if y'all can hear that. It's just, she likes to chirp. Don't they all? Anyway, she's talkative. So these old stories that keep us stuck from past relationships. Now, how many of y'all are not dating because you went through a really painful breakup? How many of y'all are not dating because you went through a really painful breakup more than 5 years ago? I see you. Was it 10 years ago, Broomhilda? I'm just asking, how long are you going to sit on the sidelines and not allow yourself to feel love, to try again, to learn, to experience the growth and learn for yourself that you can do this, that you are capable of loving somebody, that you are capable of being loved by somebody? That's a hard thing when you've been sitting on the sidelines for years, right? Y'all know it's no secret. I've talked about it here. I sat on the sidelines for many years and did the work on myself. 7 to be exact. 7. That's a long damn time. Granted, I felt like I needed it, but I did finally get to a point where I was like, all right, I'm ready to get back out there and risk my heart getting hurt again. And that really is kind of where we sit when we're in those spaces, right? When you've been through a painful breakup or several. I had been through several because I learned that I had some childhood trauma to deal with. I had some CPTSD to deal with, things that I still do have to work on, but I don't want that to stop me from getting out there, from experiencing another person, that love, that connection, that joy, that fun. And also the pain. I mean, you still go through hard conversations. You just learn to navigate them differently. You learn to put a different thinking cap on when you go into these hard things, these triggering moments. So to those of y'all that are single by choice, and when I say by choice, meaning that, have you gotten to a point probably later in life where you're just like, I'm done. I've experienced everything that I wanted to experience in a relationship. Now I'm very happy on my own. I've got kids. I've got whatever. Maybe you're just in a point where you're happy. I'm happy for you. I have a feeling that 90% of y'all listening to this are single, not by choice. I mean, you're single by choice because you've chosen to take yourself out of the race, but in your heart, you really want to have somebody. You really want to find that again and have that connection. And I think you might be really afraid to put yourself out there and experience that rejection again. And that is normal, my friend. I think it's normal for everybody who's ever done this, but absolutely, some people, some of us were handed things differently in life that we had to get over, things that maybe took a little bit longer to get past. Here we are at this certain age, here we are at this stage of life, and it's terrifying to get back out there and think, God, there's so many less choices for me now. These are the stories that you tell yourself. Let's clarify. There's not as many people available to me now. All the good ones are taken and married. What if I do find one and I invest myself for 3 or 4 months and then I get rejected or I find that I don't like it? Well, so what? What else are you doing with your time, Hilda? That's what I have to say to you. And I want you guys to learn, to feel, to know in your bones that you can take it. That if that happens, you can take it. Is it going to suck? Yeah. But the point of going through these things in life is that we recover a little bit faster, right? If that happens. I mean, I don't want that to happen to me either. Please God, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it. But if it does, if we find ourselves back out there, we know that we've got our own backs. We're strong enough to do this. And that's my point to you. So especially when you're first getting out there, like I did a year ago, and I dated a couple people before I started dating one that felt like, I wanted to stick with her and let's see where this goes. So on the first ones, it is a little challenging, and I don't know. I just didn't allow myself to get deep enough into it to where I would get hurt, because now I've learned some tools. I've learned what my red flags are a lot faster. So when I see those coming at me, it's easier for me now to keep a little bit of a boundary up earlier on in the relationship, not allow myself to just fall into, oh my God, here's a pretty girl. She's giving me all this attention. Holy cow, I haven't had it in years, and hallelujah. No, that's not where we want to be. That is not where we want to be. You want to be smart about who you're choosing. So here's the thing. You don't know often until you're several dates in with these people or a couple or whatever. And as these things start to happen, because everybody's got the best face on in the beginning, right? Putting their best foot forward. But after a couple dates, maybe it does take a month or two or so. Or maybe it's only the first couple dates. Now, I was lucky. I found all mine out within the first month and a half-ish. And things come up and you just realize, I don't think this is a fit. Nothing wrong with that other person. Nothing wrong with you. Nothing. They're wonderful people. And I'm happy that, we all get along and life is good and we can run into each other and it's fine. But what I'm saying is, you start to learn as you go through this experience, your red flags that pop up sooner so that you don't allow the same things in, and you learn to let go of these people faster. And you have to trust that you can do that, and you can say to little miss, I'm not right for you, even though she's really pretty or whatever it is. Hey, this doesn't feel like the right fit, and I'm going to put you back where I found you, and I'm going to cast my reel again and rein in that next fish. Pardon the term, because I know lesbians. Anyway, y'all know what I'm saying though. And let's talk about these stories that we tell ourselves. So as we know, our dear friends Abraham Hicks tell us that a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So if that's the case, and if we have been through painful experiences in our life, which probably didn't really start in your relationship, they probably started in your childhood. We have developed ways of thinking, patterns of thinking that kept us safe as kids, to where we learned to put our armor up, deflect, find ways to keep control of situations that you might not even recognize or control. So when things happen to you and you are managing the situation in a way that makes you feel safe, you have to ask yourself, was that thing that I just did, was that the best for all of us involved? Is this my fear acting right now? Or is what the other person's saying making sense to me? Anyway, I'm not saying that I didn't choose badly in the past. I chose really badly in the past, but not with everybody. I will say that I dated a couple of girls that, had I set that relationship up differently, it might have gone very well. It might have. I don't know. But I was coming from the place from whence I was coming, and I can't judge myself for that, and neither can you. You're not doing anything wrong. We are on this path. We are here on this earth to learn, to grow, to interact with one another, to have community, to have joy, to create, all of those things. But I don't think we're meant to do it isolated on an island. I think we need each other, and I think we want each other. I think we want to do that with someone, right? Not everybody wants to do it with a partner per se, but I do. I want to share everything with a partner. I want to wake up with somebody, go to sleep with somebody, plan our trips together, experience our exciting things that we do in our careers together, and the low points. I want support. Things that we go through, yeah, I want support. I think y'all do too. I think some of you do. Y'all are who I'm talking to today. But these stories that we get stuck in, this is what I'm talking about, right? So these patterns of thinking, these habits that we develop, these beliefs, thoughts that we just keep on thinking, things that we keep telling ourselves, this is what we've done for a long time to keep ourselves safe, right? Be grateful to your child self. Little Ashley, I'm so grateful to you. You did such an excellent job of keeping me safe through some really hard times as I was growing up, as I was growing into adulthood, as I was starting to, we're lesbians. We don't start dating as early. Well, maybe now kids today, but us at our age, we weren't allowed to start dating that early, right? So yeah, I was going out with guys when I was a teenager because that's what you did, right? We weren't allowed to come out, not in the South. So I didn't really start dating girls until my 20s and wasn't out until I was 25 and wasn't really out, well, that was only to family, really out until I was almost 30 years old. So you take that into consideration. It's like by the time you get to start practicing real relationships, and then at 30, I was just wanting to have fun because I was like, woohoo, I can finally let myself go in these ladies and have fun and do whatever. And I did get into relationships. I wasn't saying that I was like that, y'all, but it wasn't clear to me yet what a relationship really looked like and should be. Just saying, you need a few years to practice. Anyway, so then, God forbid, we fall in love. We're with somebody for a period of time and we get our hearts broken, or it doesn't work and it's hard and you feel like a failure in a lot of ways, right? Well, yeah, I've been there, done that. But the thing is, at some point, you have to pick yourself up and you have to change that story in your head. You have to recognize that maybe that's how you felt then. Maybe that's how you felt in that moment. I get it. But you weren't a failure. This is part of life, just like we talked about last week with entrepreneurialism or starting a new job, starting a new career. You have to give yourself permission to fail at certain things so that you can learn, so that you can grow. You got to find out what doesn't work for you so you can know what does work for you. And sometimes it's not clear. You meet these people and they're shiny, bright, beautiful objects and you're having a lot of fun together. And sometimes it's not until you get into the meat of it for a minute. I don't want to say the meat of it. I'm a vegan, for God's sake, the thick of it, until you know that this might not be the fit that you think it was. Or you have a choice, right? Hey, here I am, and I can choose to come at this a little bit differently. Okay, so let's talk about both sides of that for a second. Neither one is wrong. So if you decide, and if you know in your heart that somebody's not for you and you let that person go, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you got to really know because you don't want to have regrets, right? But I want you to just be aware that sometimes these thoughts can come up that protect us and keep us safe, that make us think this person might not be right for us. That's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets very confusing. So as you are ruminating, as you're having these thoughts that are coming in that are trying to protect you when something is said or something happens and you're feeling insecure, that's where you have to learn tools, right? This is where all of these self-help books come into play. There's books out there on all of this stuff. I'll put them in the comments, some of them that I've read that have been super helpful. But this is where you have to learn to talk yourself down. Give yourself a moment, breathe, walk away from the situation, but don't be unkind about it. Say, I need a minute, I need a day, let's pick this conversation back up Thursday, whatever it is. Because, you might be feeling all kinds of feelings going on in the moment, but your partner might not really deserve what you're about to spew back at them. So catch your reactions, try real hard. I think I'm getting there, but sometimes they still happen. Good Lord. It's just shit we've been through, and I want to be better at it, and I'm sure y'all do too, because I think we're all good people on here trying to learn and grow, or you wouldn't be here. Why are you listening to my Southern Lesbian? I think you want to learn and grow, and I think there's a curiosity about finding a love again, honestly. So as those thoughts come in, even you just recognizing them is progress. Even if you can separate yourself from them and go, that thought that I'm thinking is just a thought that I'm thinking. It is not me. That thought does not equal who you are. And that's where we have to learn to step outside of ourselves, recognize that, and go, okay, what do I want to do with that thought? That thought is making me freaking crazy. Well, you have a choice, right? I say you take a step back, take a deep breath, several a day, whatever, and have a think on it. Journal it out if you have to. Write it out and see, this thing that was said to me, is it fair? If I were on the other side, does it sound fair? And if it does, I think then you need to really take a hard look at yourself and go, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I might need to look at this differently. And that is hard because it's not familiar to us. It's not the patterns that we have known and done and worked with and what's kept us safe for years. I'm talking about doing this with somebody that you feel like you can be safe with. I'm not saying don't listen to your gut if you're with somebody who legitimately doesn't have your best interest at heart. If they've got their own self-serving agenda, if they are not looking out for your best interest, if they are trying to manipulate you, I think that's a different story, okay? That's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about opening yourself up to someone who is kind, someone who is expressing interest, someone who is trying actively to work on things with you, but maybe there's a little moment of conflict, there's a little bit of tension, and you get triggered. And your first instinct is to go, Wonder Woman bracelets everywhere. You know, you have to really take a step back and recognize, gosh, I know how I normally react. I know how I normally feel in these moments. But just because I'm feeling something in this moment does not mean that it's valid necessarily. You can honor yourself for feeling it. Talk yourself through it and go, Ashley, I get that you're hurt right now. I get that you're confused. I get that you feel like this person is maybe saying something that could be hurtful. But step outside, take that, just put it there again. Just put it there, and have a word with it and go, okay, do I really, to the core of my being, think that this person wants to hurt me? No, I don't. Do I really think that that thing that was said means that she doesn't care about me? No, I don't think so. Anyway, the more these things happen, and they're gonna, okay? They're gonna. So get ready. Just get your little heart ready if you want to dive back in. The more these things happen and the more you can talk yourself down from them and recognize that this person isn't what you grew up with. It's not this other situation that you were in a relationship with where someone was trying to manipulate you, use you for whatever reason. I'm speaking for myself. You know, I was used a lot. And I didn't recognize it because of shit that I grew up with. And I thought this was how I gained love from somebody, that I had to pay for them, that I had to, you know, be a certain demeanor or wear a certain thing or whatever it was, you know. You have to sort of learn that somebody is truly coming at you from a kind, gentle place, because not everybody grew up in that environment that we did. And the more, here's the cool thing, y'all. Here's the really cool woo-woo part about all this. The more of this work you do on yourself, you start to attract someone where you are. Okay? And that's how the universe works. That's how this energy works. So it's like, that's why we want to work on ourselves. That's why we want to do this work, because the more you grow, the more you become a healthier version of yourself, you're going to naturally radiate this frequency. You're naturally going to recognize that person seems healthy, like a good, healthy choice for me. That person seems kind and loving, and I can trust my heart with her. It's not just going to happen romantically for you either. You're going to start to up-level your game in the friends that you attract. You know, you're going to attract kind people. You're going to attract, I'm not saying that you don't already have kind friends. You probably do. This is nothing against them. I'm saying you're going to attract new ones. And I'm saying that, you know, even with projects you take on, work that you bring in, you're going to start to notice. I even noticed this with tenants when I started doing this, y'all. I'm a landlord. I just noticed, I was like, God, I used to have all these problems with my tenants, and things would come up and I'd get into like legal battles with them. And all of a sudden I started getting really kind people. And I was like, wow, I didn't have to do anything to get those tenants. And it's been years now, y'all. And I had so many tenants, and I can't even tell you when the last time was that I had a bad one. It's crazy how this stuff works. And part of it is you just recognizing, you know, and being a little bit wiser and putting boundaries up around what you don't want. But I just am really wanting to encourage you, if you're still curious about love, if you're still curious about it, be brave. Be brave. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Just try. You might surprise yourself. you've learned things since that last relationship because you learned things from that relationship. You're not going to make those same mistakes again, I hope, right? And there are tools out there. There are podcasts you can listen to. There are books you can read. You can, honestly, start doing some therapy. Any of those things would be great. And if you really are looking for that kind of love in your life, I just don't want you to miss out because I think it's important. I think it's important for all of our growth. I think it's important for your heart. I feel like you'll probably live longer if you can handle it and if you can get through it and get to the other side and rest in that and feel good about it. That's just my opinion. Don't come at me. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, I'm sending y'all so much love and I'm wishing you wild success if you do put yourself out there. But I'm also wishing you resilience. I'm wishing you strength and that you love yourself enough to give it a shot if that's really what's in your heart. Okay, y'all? And as always, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I love having y'all here. I love hearing what you want to talk about. I love hearing your thoughts on all this stuff. So please comment below and let me know if there's something you want to talk about, if there's something you want to yell at me about from today. No, don't do that. But you can tell me gently. I'll hear any comment if it's done gently. If you come at me, I'm going to block you. You know that. That's just how that works. If you feel like this could help somebody else, then please feel free to share it too. I appreciate you so much. Everything helps. And don't forget, we are going to be doing some lives coming up. So keep your ears and eyes open for that. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Okay? Bye, y'all.